Boy, anybody got inspirational quote? Anything to start this one?
At least it's over.
There you go. At least it's over. Arkansas against Auburn. Collapse, disastrous, awful, terrible. I ran out of words in the thesaurus to accurately describe how the back half of this game went, at least. There were some positives in the front, so we do have a little bit of a silver lining there. The defense, we'll get more into that. But the long and the short of it is Arkansas lost 33-24 to the Auburn Tigers, who winless in SEC play as well. They were on a 4-game losing streak coming into this one. Guys, just overall not good.
No, not by any stretch. I mean, what do you say? What do you say? It's amazing how after a game like you had against Tennessee on the road, a game like you had against A&M just a week ago, feel like there was some good favor, because you lost one possession to some good teams. There was at least a little bit of excitement. And then you go up against a team like Auburn, who's not good. They don't have a great offense. They had to bench their starter, get a backup quarterback in there in the second half. You had a big lead, and you still found a way to lose. I mean, it's incredible how this continues to happen. Doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter the coach, apparently. Still continues to happen.
To your point about that Auburn offense, they hadn't scored more than 17 points in their last 4 games. They were averaging 13.5 in those 4 contests as well, Tyler.
Yeah, and you said we'll get into the defense a little bit later, but to start from there.
It's later. Just anything. If we can start out on a positive note, let's do it.
The Auburn offense still didn't look great. They get the touchdown, and then after that, it's just field goal after field goal. And even all those field goals, they kind of felt like they were making those because they were gifted field position by either the Arkansas offense or the Arkansas special teams. The Arkansas defense, for once, wasn't the problem. And to kind of John's point about the last couple of weeks, yeah, they were losing, and yeah, they've been losing for, months now, but we've been all working real hard in this media game to find the silver linings, to find the progressions. Sometimes it's easier or harder than others, but this was the game where, okay, if they've actually been making progress, we should have seen them put it all together. And they did, kind of, for a quarter and a half or so. And then it just all came crashing down.
Well, and that seems like a good place as any to start is the beginning. Hogs came out, they fell behind, but then rallied. Taylon Green, 58-yard touchdown pass to Raylan Sharp. He's caught a pass now in 37 consecutive games. Not a bad streak. Then Arkansas goes down. They get the lead. They punch it in with Braylon Russell from a yard out. Oh, my gosh, look at this. It's 14-10. And then I know a lot of Arkansas fans were confused at this. That was called a takeaway.
It's allowed.
It is allowed. It is legal in Arkansas. Can do it. Kenai Walker jumps a pass, takes it all the way back to the house. Pick 6. It's 21-10 at the half. Fans are feeling good, maybe slightly confused at what just happened with that play. They had all the momentum. They had everything going for them. They go into the locker room, and I don't know if they turned on the Polar Express or something in there. I'm not sure, but they came out and looked flat the rest of the way. John, I think we were talking off camera. 6 field goals for the Auburn Tigers today, and they won the ball game. 3 of 12 on 3rd down, Auburn was. They won the game. 1 offensive touchdown for Auburn. They won the game. You were saying off camera, if I told you those stats pregame without the context, you would say Arkansas ran away with this one.
Yeah, because what is the thing that we've been talking about forever is about this defense. Man, they just got to have something go their way. They got to have one play. Well, they got to pick 6. I mean, it's really harder to find a better defensive play and a big momentum swinging play than that. But as you were laying it out, if you would have told me that before the game, hey, Arkansas is going to hold Auburn to 1 offensive touchdown, and they're also going to get a pick 6 in this game, and going to have 3 of 12 from 3rd down, all of these things, and have a lead, you'd be like, all right, so this is going to be good. No, they lost by 9. They lost by 2 possessions. That kicker for Auburn better be the SEC Player of the Week. That dude had 18 points by himself. It's just, again, it's incredible how it doesn't matter. They find incredible ways to lose games. Even when they do the things that they haven't been doing previously, they're still going to find a way.
You said it, another silver lining, at least it wasn't a 1-score loss. So there is that. It wasn't a 1-score, Tyler. Any positives from you, or is it just Arkansas not being able to do the right things at the right times?
I mean, what a place where we're going. Silver lining, they lost by more points. But no, I understand what you're saying because it's almost less frustrating in a way. But it lets you start or unless you stop with, I think, some of the narratives that have been keeping us going for so long, which is the constant stream of, oh, they're so close, which we've heard, 4 straight Arkansas coaches say that for years now. Even Bobby Petrino was saying it the last couple of weeks was, oh, we're so close. It's like, Bobby, that's not the thing you're supposed to be saying.
Right.
That's the thing Brett Bielema is supposed to be saying. It's the thing Sam Pittman is supposed to be saying. It's not the thing that Bobby Petrino is supposed to be saying. But that's what this Arkansas team has become. It's all a flat circle. No matter what, and like John said, they find a way to lose, and it's new, it's different. I did around halftime, right when you start feeling good, start seeing all the posts and whatnot rolling in of like, oh, first halftime lead since the Memphis game, and like, oh yeah, no, they do know how to blow those too.
Yeah.
In retrospect, would you rather lose? Again, once we're starting with the how would you rather lose, we've lost the plot.
Yeah, speaking of that Memphis game, that interception, first takeaway since the Memphis game, and the first pick six since 2023. So there was a lot of momentum going for him, feeling good there. Something also contributing, you said finding new ways to lose. You wouldn't think that the running game would be a way for Arkansas to lose. They've been so good. Mike Washington, back-to-back 100-yard rushing games coming into this one. He finished with 41 yards on 12 carries. And 11 of those yards came on 1. So 30 yards on 11 carries. My math isn't great, but neither is that average. I know that.
He should have had, 2 more yards because they did blow him dead for forward progress when he was still moving. But again, that's not really going to move the needle. Yeah, I mean, look, some of that you do have to give Auburn credit. If there's one thing that Auburn could hang their hat on this season, it was the defensive line. We knew that coming in, that it was going to be difficult for Arkansas to do. But at the same time, when that's supposed to be a strength-on-strength matchup and you lose the strength-on-strength matchup, that's never going to bode well. And look, the interceptions, they piled up at the end there. But again, Taylen Green has a tendency to turn the ball over in opportune times in the second half, and Arkansas's offense has still managed to score a lot of points despite that because everything else was going all right. We see as soon as everything else doesn't go right.
Well, and the thing about Taylen Green is there was a point in the game, I think it was 10 of 13 for 232 yards and touchdowns. Looks crisp, looks great. And we saw the Taylen that we have seen previously where one mistake and it comes crumbling down. And if you think about the previous games that Arkansas has lost, whenever they've had a turnover, it hasn't really been Taylen late in the game. He's had some turnovers, but it was a Mike Washington fumble. It was a Brown fumble. This was the first time where it was on Taylen Green, and the floodgates just opened. I know Omega Blake fumbled it as well, but it just seemed like he got rattled. You couldn't get him back. He forced too many throws, and they just shut down immediately in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's the thing. That first interception was the pick six, which, yes, he was late on the throw. It was a little bit behind, but inaccuracies happen, wet ball. You can kind of forgive that one. The last interception he threw, at that point, you're down 2 scores. You're just hoping for some magic. You're throwing it up. The defense makes a better play. The one that I can't forgive is that second interception that he threw. Triple coverage. I had to go back, watch the clip again to make sure I counted that right. 3 white jerseys to 1 red. I think there was another red coming into frame at the very end, but you can't throw that ball into triple coverage. You are very much in the football game at that point. That is a throw that a veteran quarterback cannot make. You have to be smarter with that. I believe it might have been second down when he threw that as well. Throw it away, live to fight another down. Your defense has been playing very well, and trust your teammates.
Like you said, they were still very much, and credit to them, back-to-back turnovers, and you're still right there in the ball game. That's where you need your leadership, your guys who have been there before to calm things down. And Taylen did the exact opposite.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was the same side of the field in the same area. Yep. I feel like I was playing the NCAA video game where I'm like, well, I got to get in panic mode, 4 verts the entire time and keep throwing the same receiver because it worked one time, so I'm going to keep forcing it. That's what it reminded me of. And again, it's just incredible how it went so badly, so quickly for Arkansas. There's just no excuse for it.
And I also think that is very much a product of what the offense is when you take away the run game. They need the run game to be successful in the pass. They are very much a run the football to set up the passing game. And when you take away the ability for Arkansas to attack you on the ground, I think a lot of weaknesses get exposed. Now, look, we got plenty more to talk about. If you couldn't tell, we are on a roll, but we also have to get into a commercial break. We got some bills to pay around here. So we're going to send you off to that when we get back. More Hog Talk coming your way. Welcome back into Hog Zone with Locked On, Alex, John, Tyler. We are feeling good. We were rolling through the first half. Hopefully our momentum keeps up, unlike Yeah. 33-24, 33-24, the final score. Auburn Tigers beat the Arkansas Razorbacks, dropping them to 2-6 overall, 0-4 in SEC play, and one loss away from not being bowl eligible this year. I'm saying there's a chance, but I'm also saying there's probably not a chance. But it does set us up to kind of talk about the future and what's ahead. A lot of people saying that Bobby Petrino coaching for his job in this one. I think he gained a lot of good faith keeping Texas A&M, or being competitive with Texas A&M, I should say, 45-42, the final in that one. They were the number 4 team in the country, now number 2, I believe, or number 3 in the polls this week. Regardless, top 5 team, you played them to within 3 points. I think a lot of people saw that as a big win for Petrino. And now this.
Yes, this is something to where if you were Bobby Petrino and you wanted this job, you had to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just plain and simple. You have to be able to sell the fan base on something. You got to sell them on some sort of hope, some sort of excitement. And for Petrino, again, we can justify one-score losses to this, but this is at home against a bad Auburn team that's really bad at the thing that you are bad on the other side of the ball. I just could not excuse this, and I don't think if as a Razorback fan, I'm the biggest Bobby Petrino fan there is, but you can't sell them and saying, well, it's going to get better now when this was a game you should have won 9 times out of 10, and you didn't do it in front of your home fans. I just don't know how you can come back from this.
And home fans that showed out, 68,000. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, given where Arkansas is in the season and given the forecast that they were playing in. But the fans showed up. They believed in Bobby. And, you know, do you, Tyler? I don't want to put you on the spot immediately, but
I think Petrino gets a lot more leeway with Arkansas than any other coach in his situation. Right. As an interim head coach who not only has been the head coach before, but has been the head coach very successfully before and didn't leave because of anything that happened on the football field. A lot of other interim coaches, you go and you lose the first 2 games, you wouldn't have had that kind of groundswring of like, oh, he's moving in the right direction. It would have just been, well, they're still losing. But this was the one where there is no excuse. And like John said, you know, the defenses were supposed to be the struggle here. And also, Bobby had that kind of excuse built in of, as long as the offense keeps looking good, this isn't the defense that he would have gotten. It's not, you know, necessarily the coordinator that he wanted. You could kind of write off the defense. When the defense performs well, you can't write off the offense. It's Bobby Petrino's offense. It is his handpicked guys. It is his offense. It is everything he wants. And it reverted to so much of that early season stuff when it comes to the second half. I mean, 3 points in the second half, forgetting even the turnovers, which is a ridiculous thing to say when you turn the ball over 4 times in the fourth quarter. They didn't move the ball. They didn't score points outside of 3 explosive plays or so, maybe. The 2 Rohan Jones and the Raylan Sharp
touchdown.
And that's about it. So it really just kind of, Bobby ran out of excuses today. And look, is there a world where they go 4-0 the rest of the way? No. But that's what it would take, I think, at this point to kind of win back any shot of Bobby Petrino dropping that interim label. Now, the flip side, I've been saying we don't really want to find silver linings in this one. At least for one more week, thanks to this loss, Arkansas does not have another SEC team entering the coaching search. They may have saved Hugh Freeze's job.
That is true. Yeah, well, one less candidate to talk to, but there are still plenty out there for the Hogs. And just to kind of further your point about the ineptitude of the offense today, 3 of 7 on 3rd down, 0 of 1 on 4th down, 331 total yards, and less than 100 yards total rushing, which, as we mentioned before the break, that's the bread and butter of this team. This is what they have to be good at. So, John, we kind of got your opinion, I think, with if Bobby should stick around. I'll ping-pong it back to Tyler really quick. Was Petrino coaching for his job in this one, and is there still enough good faith that they give him these last 4? If he pulls out a miracle, Mississippi State, LSU, Texas, Missouri.
Oh, I get win 4 games straight to end the season, 2 of those on the road against opponents that are probably ranked. I mean, Texas shouldn't have won today, but they did somehow against Mississippi State. Now, the flip side of that is next week feels like less of, I mean, it was never going to be a gimme. This is not the Mississippi State team of last year, but it feels a little tougher when you see them go toe-to-toe with Texas. So sure, go 4-0. We can talk. Go 1-3, and that one is Mizzou. Maybe you just bring Bobby back to coach the Missouri game every year because he's the only way that they can beat him.
Right.
But yeah, no, that ship has essentially sailed. I was never the biggest Bobby Petrino guy to begin with in this coaching search. I'll be completely honest. My thought was if winning today gave him the job, then you weren't looking hard enough. But yeah, no, I just don't see it happening.
Well, and I also think a very important variable to this is if I'm the board of trustees, the donors, whoever's going to be the ones that are most involved in this coaching search, this may have provided your clear-cut direction. Because that Bobby Petrino variable was always kind of like holding them back a little bit. It's like, well, we want to go get a new coach, but, Bobby, he could still be the guy. This could have been something where it's like, all right, we're done with this. Now we can just take this pathway, forget the Bobby Petrino stuff, focus in on some other candidates or the ones we want. And if that's the case, I think it could be a benefit. But you can't keep going and still having the Bobby Petrino angle. If you're going to make a move, if you're going to go some other direction, you got to do it now. You can't go a few more weeks just wondering, well, maybe he could do this. You got to make a decision about that.
I'll tell you what, John, let's have some fun. Let's put you in the spot of those donors, of those boosters, of those guys that have a big say in the next coaching hire. Where do you go with it? Because Sam Pittman was very much an offensive line guy. That kind of struggle. Bobby Petrino, very much an offensive guy. They haven't really had anybody defensive-minded come in. Do you maybe swing that way and say we need to really bolster that side of the football and that's where our foundation lies? Or do you kind of go with what you know and say we're going to lean heavily into the offense, which the SEC is very much about? Where and who are you looking at? Now's your time.
Well, it's going to be kind of a cop-out answer, but whatever coach you need, it has to be whatever you can get the most financial support for. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter if you go out there and you get a Nick Saban. If he doesn't have the money to succeed, which we know that Sam Pittman was not set up for that, it's not going to matter. So you got to start there. But to me, at a place like Arkansas, you got to base it on offense. To me, that has always been what has made Arkansas in their successful years. It was because of the offense. It was because of great playmakers. It was because of that. You got to go that direction. And it's just kind of the way college football leans more towards the offense. So, yeah, get a lot of financial support first, then look at the offensive side.
Brett Lashley. Sorry, something in my throat. Tyler, do you agree? Do you think you go offensive or do you switch things up?
Look, I kind of what John was saying, but almost if you flip the order of that, what makes people excited about football by and large? It's that shiny offense.
Yep.
Putting up 56 points a game. People get excited. The checkbook loosens up a little bit. So I think it's a kind of, snaking its own tail, but in a positive way where if the, big money brings big offense brings big money, you keep the ball rolling, and that's how you get this thing moving.
Well, and we have seen with Coach Calipari coming in that Hunter Yurachek is willing to make those big-name splash hires to get attention. And I think this could be, look, football is the program regardless of school. That is the one that everybody's excited for. That is the biggest moneymaker. That is the one that essentially sets the tone for the entire school year. You want to start things off right. That's what draws students that might not care about much else. Academics are great, but let's go to the football game. We want to be a part of that. You have to have a good football team to get, like you said, the students, the finances, everything that you want. It all starts with football. Whether or not we want to admit it, it is very much a business decision. As is going to a commercial break, because as I mentioned, we got to keep these bright lights on so we can keep bringing these guys back, keep bringing you the content you want. All that and more. We'll continue to talk about the future of the Hogs, maybe get some season-ending predictions here. We'll see what transpires on the other side of these commercial breaks. Hog Zone with Locked On, Alex, John, Tyler. We have talked just about all we can about the Auburn defeat of Arkansas, 33-24. I think we've pretty much exhausted everything. So let's go ahead, put that one in the rear view mirror, flush it down the toilet, whatever analogy you want to use, whatever slogan that the players will say at whatever press conference they're at. Mississippi State coming to town next week, the final game of this 3-game homestand. They just lost a heartbreaker to Texas. Does that help or hurt the Hogs' cause? Are the Bulldogs going to be drained emotionally, or are they going to come in more fired up than ever? They're a good team this year.
It's really unfortunate because after today's game against Auburn, I don't think it matters. I'm being honest.
That's fair.
Because if you're at Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby, I believe this is his second season there, there's at least a little bit more juice and energy. They're a team that's, they're still not to that SEC victory. They should have won, but they've got at least a little bit more excitement about it. Arkansas, you don't have anything. So it's like, I would love to sit here and say, well, Mississippi State's going to come in and not feeling as well. Doesn't matter because Arkansas keeps finding ways to lose to these teams no matter what their situation is.
Quincy Rhodes actually said it after the game. He was saying it in a more positive manner, I think. He was talking about the defense and the confidence they gain, and he said, the only team that can beat us is us. And there is some truth to that, but the problem is usually when someone says that, it's supposed to build you up and be like, this is, it's all about what we do. we've seen time and time again, Arkansas does beat Arkansas, and they do it consistently, and no matter who they're playing. So, unfortunately, yeah, I do think it might help Mississippi State a little bit, honestly, because they'll have that taste in their mouth, the confidence, we can go toe-to-toe with a Texas, even if it's not capital T Texas like many thought this year. They were back, I guess, for 1 year. But and they can go toe-to-toe, and, yeah, maybe a little bit of we didn't get the job done. Let's go to, I hate to say it, but, Arkansas is probably everyone's get-right game at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And Mississippi State has this stigma that they're a bad football team. That's just not the case this year. They've shown a lot of heart, a lot of fight, and it's going to be quite the challenge for Arkansas as they look to win their first SEC game of the year, 0-4. But looking beyond even that, guys, they got to go to Death Valley, play LSU.
You're skipping the best week.
The bye week, and
Undefeated.
they'll still find a way to. I'm not going to do that. I won't stoop that low. But bye week on the road to LSU, Austin, Texas, and then they wrap up the Battle Line rivalry, Mizzou. Do you guys see any victories in the last 4 weeks?
No. No.
All right, that's it, folks.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
It's like until I'm proven otherwise, I just can't, with good faith, even if the teams are not as good as what they were. Arkansas's not good, so I just can't feel good about it.
There's always that one game every year where they beat the one team, Tyler. Do they have the one game this year?
Look, they're not at C, D, M, levels quite yet. Those were the years where there wasn't that one game. It's not that bad, but there isn't that one game. And like John said, this is the year. At LSU, at Texas, Mizzou, those are all beatable teams to teams not named Arkansas.
Well, I would love to see them get that upset over Texas. Give the fans something to really cheer about. If nothing else, a 3-win season, but you beat Texas, that's a big deal. Hey, that's going to be it for our time here. Alex, John, Tyler here with Hog Zone with Locked On. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week to talk more Hogs football.